what's been going on in life? Tell me about, I mean, I know you're still in the wrestling business. Now you making the transition, doing the box. You're just a Renaissance man, but what's been going on in life?
It's funny. I woke up this morning. Everything else is downhill from here. That, right? I woke up, but the good folks at Fight have really just. Boxing is on such an uptick, and Fight is the place where you're going to find everything. And I'm doing stuff with Fight. I went back to get another master's to go back to school teaching, working in fantasy football and fantasy baseball, and still tinkering around with that wrestling. Can't get away from it.
Yeah, I got a little small show on Fight TV as well. It's called Reality of Wrestling. It's doing pretty good.
Feel free to book me anytime.
Definitely. I'll definitely get you down there. You know what? We do shows. We do cross promotions with other promotions. We just did one with Impact just a couple weeks ago, and it went off actually very well. We put those guys back on the map.
Hey,
whoa! Gave them the rub.
We gave those guys the rub. But no, man, it was hectic. It was heated. It was our champions versus their champions. We're gonna keep this feud going, so I can't talk nice about these guys.
All right.
It's business.
It is. It's business, as Sheldon would say. A little bit of business.
But we out here for the fight, man. You always been off into the fights.
Yes, sir.
You always been a huge fight fan, just like myself. And so many guys. I want to get your take on it. As far as so many young guys that have followed Manny Pacquiao for so many years, so many young guys that have looked up and admired Manny Pacquiao for so many years. They're pulling for Manny Pacquiao. But one thing I say also is like with my school, I have a saying as far as young people. I have a champion, just say for instance, he's 20 years old. You know what I mean? And he's out there doing his thing. He's on television every week. You know what I mean? And being that 13, 14, 15-year-old kid, you see that 20-year-old kid doing something, and he can aspire to be that 20-year-old kid. He actually can become and won't, actually feel like he's in that spot. But just say, for instance, that same 13, 14, 15-year-old kid see a 40-year-old with the championship. It's hard to aspire to be that. That's something that's almost unattainable. But the guys that grew up watching them and wanted to be that and admired them, it's hard for them to bet against them. So I see so many young guys, so many young fighters that's going with Manny Pacquiao, and I think it's their heartstrings being pulled. And what do you think? Talk to me about this.
It's the easy name to say. I know Manny Pacquiao. Others don't know Keith Thurman, so they can't make the educated guess. I host a show on Fight TV called Fight in Focus, and we had Jerry Cooney on. And I was talking to Jerry Cooney about the fact that Manny Pacquiao may arguably be the greatest fighter of a generation. To me, he reminds me of, I'm a little older, Roberto Duran, Julio Cesar Chavez. So to this generation, Manny Pacquiao is that guy. But people are sleeping on the heavy hands of Keith Thurman. And you have to take that into consideration, because you know it as well as I do, everyone has a puncher's chance, right? I mean, Mike Tyson said it, I think it was Jack Dempsey before him, everyone has a plan until they get punched in the mouth.
People can talk about, Manny being 40 and Manny being a different type of fighter, We had Ray Boo Mancini on the show, and I was talking to Ray Boo Mancini about his first loss to Alexis Pacquiao. He's 20 years old, Alexis is 28. I can only imagine Alexis being 40 and Boo Boo being 20. There's no way Alexis winning that fight, because it went 14 rounds, and he was only and he was only a few years younger. So I'd say the older fighter, going into a fight of this magnitude, I definitely I'm going to sway towards a younger fighter if the younger fighter is that elite guy, that elite champion, which I think Keith Thurman really is that elite of a champion.
Well, here's the other thing too. There's something about ring IQ. So there's an old saying that two lions are on the top of the hill and they see all these bulls down. And the young lion says to the old lion, "Let's run down there and eat us one of those bulls." And the old lion says, "Hold up. What do you say we walk on down there and eat them all?" And that, to me, Manny Pacquiao has this ring IQ. Couple that with the fact that he gets in and out, punches and bunches, lateral movement, slip and slide, southpaw style. This is going to pose problems for Keith Thurman, I think.
Well, I mean, I look at it like this. I look at the last fight Manny Pacquiao had, and he was dealing with a guy in Adrian Broner, who's a really, really good fighter. Adrian Broner sometimes Adrian Broner can be an A fighter, sometimes he can be an A+ fighter, or sometimes, according to who he's fighting, he can be a B fighter. And I think that's what happened that night when Manny Pacquiao showed up. He became a B fighter that night. It's saying that he knew Manny Pacquiao wouldn't like the rest of the guys that he had fought before. And then he got in there and tried to test Manny Pacquiao the first few rounds and realized, wait a minute, this little guy still got something. After he got hit on the chin, everything changed as far as Adrian Broner goes. And that's the way Broner is. Broner's a guy that he's not. How many times have you seen Adrian Broner in a dog fight? Not once. And I didn't think he was going to go there with Manny Pacquiao. I called that fight. I called that fight exactly the way it was going to happen. One thing I see in Keith Thurman, like I say, he's a guy that he doesn't know how to lose. One thing that Keith Thurman has always did in the fight, find a way to win, no matter what. And sometimes, Keith Thurman, the big right hand ain't working, the left hook ain't working. Okay, I got to get on my bicycle and box and show how good. I got to show these guys how good I really am as a pugilist. And I think that's where Manny Pacquiao is going to have his problem when Keith Thurman actually started using his legs and start fighting from ankles. I think it's going to be a really, really tough fight for Manny Pacquiao to figure out what's that happen.
And it's an interesting thought, and a lot of experts are saying it too. If you look at Thurman's last fight, now remember, surgery on the elbow. This is not the same Keith Thurman we saw prior to 2017. The last fight we saw Thurman in, people expected more, and he ran into trouble in the 7th round in that fight.
Yeah.
Now, take Manny Pacquiao, we're talking about his age difference in the IQ, throw Freddie Roach in there. Pacquiao may frustrate Thurman to the point where Thurman tries to turn it into this dogfight, but come the 7th round, that's what you're talking about, those legs. 30-year-old legs and 40-year-old legs. I'm not so sure that Thurman might not run into trouble in those 7th, 8th, and 9th rounds.
I don't know. We definitely gonna see. If it's a race, if it's not, just say for instance, if it's the 100-yard dash, who do you think is going to win? The 40-year-old or the 20-year-old?
But it's not a 100-yard dash.
I'm just trying to figure. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'm looking at it from a race perspective because at the end, that's what it might come down to. Who's got the most gas in the tank? Who has the better legs? Who has the most stamina? And I think anything can happen in that aspect right there because like I say, 40 years old is not that. It's not that far over the edge where a guy can go out there and still create magic. Like I say, we've seen it with Bernard Hopkins. We've seen it with Floyd Mayweather. We've seen it with George Foreman. Big knockout over Michael Moore back in the day. We've seen Jersey Joe Walcott. At 40. Still fight at a very, very high level. So it can be happening. I mean, it can happen. But in this aspect right here, all of those fighters that slipped on a banana peel and got beat by those older guys, I don't think any of those guys are up to the caliber of
Let me ask you a question. 40-year-old Booker T, and I'll say it now, and I can't, because I've been in the locker rooms. Consensus amongst the boys, the wrestlers, you're pound for pound one of the best, right? When people talk about it, they talk, hey, who's great? Oh, Billy Gunn. Booker. Yeah. Booker T has got his footwork is there, his charisma is there, everything's there. This 40-year-old Booker T, can he be outworked, out-wrestled, outperformed by a 20, 21-year-old kid down in NXT? No.
You know what? I don't think so. I really don't. From a performance standpoint, I think that's where I based my in-ring work was, overall performance. As far as stamina go, I don't know because one thing about fighters, and Pacquiao, he definitely has done this, and that's stay active, stay busy. I say a fighter's worst enemy is time off, being away from the ring too long. Manny Pacquiao, his whole career, he's been active. So that right there, that's the one thing that's going to help Manny Pacquiao. That's one thing that can really give him a better chance than any other one of his attributes. Just him being active all of this time and not losing his edge, to go out there and still want to be great. Not losing his edge to still want to go out there and captivate the fans, and still not losing that edge to want to go out there and shock and amaze the crowd and make the crowd just go, oh man, Pacquiao, hey man, we're in the Hall of Fame. Stick around. We're gonna let you go into the break with some of this right here. That Kane, Big Daddy Kane, that's for you, baby. That's for you.